The fish is great.
Okay.
Let's taste this mystery. This is what we all want to know about. Wow, that's hot. But as a man, I'm just going to pop another bite right in there.
Right.
Man, that's good. I mean, I know that it's not sweet potatoes. I only know that because I saw what you did.
Yeah.
It is a damn good substitute. I would say perfectly fine substitute if you were going to have a keto, Thanksgiving kind of meal. And the asparagus, I'm sure, is good. It always is.
Yep. Okay. It's a
Very
keeper,
good.
but maybe different type of fish.
Different fish, for sure. Okay, Shelly, what are you surprising us with today?
Well, I'm making a side dish for tonight's meal, and it's going to be sweet potato casserole.
That's the side dish? Sweet potato casserole.
Sweet potato casserole in quotations.
No.
Yeah.
Cauliflower.
Actually, the recipe I'm making this, kind of making my own, does call for cauliflower.
Oh, okay.
But I am not doing cauliflower. This is not pumpkin.
That's not
it's
cheese?
not sweet potato. It is butternut squash. So it's still, gonna have some carbs in it because it's a squash. It's somewhat sweet, but nothing like a sweet potato. So I've got a whole butternut squash. This is probably about 4 or 5 cups worth of squash, and I've got a tablespoon of butter melted here that I'm just going to pour over top of it. Get the oven preheating to 400 degrees.
Now, may I ask you, what's the main dish we're having?
We're having,
Or is it a surprise?
no, we're having some fish, and then you're going to want to put some salt, and it calls for pepper, which I thought was kind of weird considering it's sweet potato casserole. And then this is some cinnamon, and we're gonna put a half of a teaspoon of cinnamon in there. I might put a little bit more because it's no extra carbs to do it. All right, we're gonna make the topping while we're waiting, and get some chopped pecans. And I'm actually just gonna only put a quarter of a cup. And this we're gonna pulse until it's like sand, but not enough to where it turns into butter, like pecan butter. I'm gonna put in 3/4 of a cup, so it's a total of 1 cup of pecans. And this time, we're just gonna do a very rough chop. I just want them a little bit smaller than these pieces right here. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Same thing with the cinnamon, another half a teaspoon. I'm gonna do heaping. This is a Swerve brown sugar, and I'm gonna do a heaping 1/8 of a cup. Another tablespoon of melted butter. Just gonna drizzle that in there. Try to get this to kind of form into like a topping, like you would normally put on your sweet potato crunch. I'm just gonna make another side of some pretty simple asparagus. I'm just gonna use some asparagus here. Some olive oil that I'm just going to drizzle over a little bit. Maybe that's a half a tablespoon worth. Pepper. And then the zest of about a half a lemon. Just going to also juice half of a lemon. Which equals about a tablespoon. Just put that on there too. Have about a half a tablespoon of Parmesan. I'm going to move it around here and do another half a tablespoon. making the spice topping for the fish. And you're just basically gonna do a little less than a teaspoon of salt, and then a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder. This is paprika, a teaspoon of that. Wait. Yep, just one more check. And a teaspoon, or let's do about half of a teaspoon of pepper. Okay, I've got 3 tablespoons of butter here, and I've got the juice of 1 lemon, and I've got the zest of 1 lemon.
You've got the zest of 1,000 lemons, baby.
And I'm just gonna mix that all in. That's actually gonna be the topping for the fish. And then if you have unsalted butter like we do, I'm adding about a half a teaspoon of salt. That they're done, take one of the bigger pieces and just poke it, and your fork should go straight through it. If you get any kind of resistance, you probably should leave it in there a little bit longer. These are all seem to be good. I've got a heaping tablespoon of the Swerve brown sugar and 1 tablespoon of butter, and I'm just going to put that in the microwave just long enough to melt the butter. Add just a tiny bit of vanilla. This is probably going to be about a half a teaspoon worth. Pick this up, pour it in here. I've got my emulsifier here. You can also use a blender. You just need to puree it. And then you're just going to add this little bit of liquid here. Get all that good stuff out of there. And finish pureeing it. Okay, once you've got it pureed, then you just take a glass pan. I just put a tiny bit of olive oil just so there's just a sheen in there. Put it in your pan. Okay, we've got that in the pan, and now we're just going to take our yummy crumbly mixture and pour it in over top of that. And that's going to cook at 400 degrees for 20 minutes, which will give us just enough time to finish the rest of our meal. Take this fish and lay it on this plate after you've tried to get as much moisture out of it as you can. You want it to be dry because you're going to fry it in hot oil. And then you're just going to take this seasoning and sprinkle it on each one and then rub it around gently. Okay, we're going to cut these in half because I want to make sure they fit in my cast iron skillet. And if you're going to cut them in half like this, make sure you fry the ones that are the same size together. You're going to turn this cast iron skillet so it gets hot. Put it on about medium high. We're going to be using some ghee for this. You can also use olive oil. but this is just clarified butter. And we're gonna put in about 2 tablespoons. It looks like this because if it's cold, it starts to solidify slightly. So it's apparently not quite cold enough to solidify. Alright, we got a nice hot skillet. We're gonna put the half of this down, 4 pieces in there with the skin side down. Okay, it's been about a minute. I am gonna make my little lemon butter sauce and pour 1 little spoonful